Welcome to the Builders Ladder with Marti and Owen Chambers, the show for residential building company owners and general contractors wanting to make more money and buy back your time and build a business worth owning. We share what's working right now for the top 5% of residential building company owners and general contractors so you can implement it into your business.
Marty, what is up? How you doing, brother?
I am on fire. Fantastic weekend. All Blacks beat England, went to the game. It was amazing, courtesy of Marti 10. Thank you, Marti 10. How you going, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Watched the All Blacks, watched the highlights of the Euros. Copa America is happening right at the moment. Matt, our resident Argentinian man, is watching that, so can't get a hold of him. But I'm good, bro. Good weekend. Other than that, you get out on the bike or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I went for a big bike ride with Italian Motorcycle Owners Club up to Lee, which was great. Very nice picturesque spot, a couple of hours north in Auckland. And then saw some great TV. Trump dodging bullets better than Neo in The Matrix.
Wow. Yeah, I know, right? Who needs an ear? Van Gogh didn't. It's
insane. Just it's off the charts what goes on in the US.
Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff. The media is quite something.
And the way they report it, Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's wild
he
stuff.
Fell over on stage and shit like that. God,
crazy.
All right, let's talk about a subject that's near and dear to our hearts: making money and turning cold prospects into red hot raving fans and warm clients.
Yeah, 100%. So please take us away, because this is your absolute genius zone. You're very good at making sure members are in a position to build their sales process, nurture their leads well, and have marketing do the heavy lifting of the sales process, so that ideally we're not competing on price, but instead on timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, communication, all these other variables that go into, should I choose you as my builder, and building my dream home, the biggest investment of my life. So please take us away, set the stage. This is your stage.
All right. So when people are considering renovating, remodeling, building a new home, typically they go through an extended information search. And the reason that they do that is because they've got a problem. They want to either build a new house, do an alteration, do a remodel. Then they manage to whittle that down to, okay, what are my options? How do I solve this? And then they come into what's called an evoked. So during this phase of the decision-making process, they're looking for just to generally educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So as building company owners, you should be putting out articles and lead gen magnets like top 9 things you need to know when renovating a villa in Ponsonby. Don't start doing your architectural new build without this. Here's 5 ways passive house could be right for you, etc., etc. The next thing is people come to what's called an evoked set, or a list of alternatives, typically 3 to 5, of, according to their criteria, who's going to meet their criteria. And they've got all those questions that they ask before they'll take you on board. 4 key questions. Who are you? Who's your company? Can I trust you? And how specifically can you help me? So we want to make sure that we're answering those questions in depth as we're leading people down a funnel. And so the problem aware, then they become solution focused. Out of that solution, that goes into a vote set. And then we get what's called a chosen set, where the top 2 or 3 who match their criteria that they're assessing you on who am I going to choose a building company on.
Yeah.
And they've got 5 concerns, as you well know, Owen, that they're evaluating you on. Mm-hmm. So those 5 key concerns are: 1, budget, timeliness. So will it be finished on time when you say it will? 3, quality of workmanship. 4, communication. How are you going to communicate with me prior to the project, during the project, and then post-project? And lastly, trust. Can I trust you? Can I trust the work? Can I trust that you're not going to go under? Are you putting my money into a separate escrow account for my particular build so that I know that you're not going to go bust run off and buy a new Ford Ranger. So we want to make sure that as we're leading these people down a pathway, we're helping to educate them at each stage. We're allaying their fears and concerns, and we'll go in depth today into what we should have at each stage. But they're the core principles that people go through when they're looking for information and they're looking for typically the biggest investment of their life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's massive. So most people make a really big mistake when they are thinking about marketing for their building company. They're only marketing towards the people that are ready to buy right now. And they don't do any education. They do pretty pictures, beautiful brochures. Look how stunning my work is. And candidly, most people can hire a professional photographer and make their work and their portfolio look pretty stunning, right? And then you end up competing on an exclusive project basis. How big's your arsenal? How big's your portfolio of work, and does it fit perfectly with what this person wants to do? Doesn't address any of their key concerns or anything like that. So the biggest mistake people make when they're marketing is they only market on project. They only present beautiful pictures and videos of their work. And the reality is that not everybody is looking to buy right now, just like you said, Marty, right?
And typically there's a pyramid, marketing pyramid. So if you think at the bottom, you've got 70% of people who are not in the market, they're not interested, it's not for them, etc. And then you've got 25% of people who are in the I'm interested, but I'm thinking about it. And they'll be somewhere along the framework from I'm thinking about it, I'm interested, hey, we should maybe add another bedroom, we should extend the house, we should build a new project. To shit, I'm 9/10 of the way down this process. I've got consent, got plans, and I need to choose a builder. So those 25% are where the real gold is. And then you've got 5% of people who are ready now. They're pretty much ready to go, and they're just looking to choose a builder to complete their project and make sure that they can fulfill their scope of works and bring their reality to life, or their plan to reality.
100%. So that's why normally the ongoing part of our marketing strategies that we get our members to do. So we break it down into top of funnel stuff, middle of funnel stuff, and bottom of funnel stuff. But the top of funnel stuff, which is always on marketing, you should always be marketing, should be making sure that you are embedded into the community and that you are visible and omnipresent anywhere. So what we're talking about here is making sure that we've got some of the basics in place. Like generally speaking, in our industry, offline marketing works phenomenally well. And at the moment seems to always get overlooked by online marketing, which has its place and is really important, but not instead of wrapped site signage and
uniforms for your guys, your vehicle signage. Do you belong to a local BNI or local chamber of commerce, like a business networking group that you can farm for leads that are going to act as your salespeople, that you can put your 1% referral out to them? So if they bring you a 500K project, when it goes over the line, contract signed, they're going to get $5,000. And you obviously build that into the price of the project.
Exactly. And then ongoing images and videos of the work that you're doing and behind the scenes. But that's the awareness part, and that's the always ongoing element. The part that you want to set, address, and forget, and the part that most people overlook is the education phase, or that middle of funnel stuff for all these people that are in the information search, that 25% of the market that are like, yeah, I'm curious. I want to learn more. I want to know what this is all about. I want to see and vet whether you're the best builder for the biggest investment of my life. Like, I have seen you around town. I have seen your stuff, but how can you help me specifically? And this is where it really becomes, yes, it really becomes less of a traffic and volume of eyeballs sort of exercise and more of a conversion. How can I make sure that I attract the right kind of lead for my situation, the right kind of projects for the kind of work that we do, like I do? And this is where we want to use the marketing pillars to address those big concerns that Marty's already discussed: timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication. So how do we go about improving conversion? How do we go about educating people that we're the best person, Marty? What's the secret sauce?
Well, there's two aspects to the secret sauce. So one is the the what. So what are you actually going to put in this, what we refer to as middle of funnel stuff? So once someone's opted in or they're aware of you. And the other is where. So where are you going to place this stuff? So let's go through the what first. So if we start with the core things, you need a how we work with you video that basically outlines the philosophy of your company, the problems that you solve for your clients, how you work with people for project management, pricing, who's going to be on site, your rules of the game. So what are your rules around, our guys don't have loud music on site. There's no swearing on site. There's no dogs on site. They use drop sheets if they're going to be in your home, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The next thing is with that video is to get some video testimonials of clients who are your ideal clients that you want to get more of, some case studies. And a case study is basically, here's what this home was like beforehand, so people can put themselves in their shoes. Oh shit, we've got a villa just like that. We would like to have our villa extended as well, or done up inside. This is the process that they went through. These are all the concerns that we had before doing the project. And here's what happened when we went with Dave. And this is how it was great. And his company, his project management software, his systems helped us overcome those key concerns that we had.
100%. So it's in this part of your marketing where you want to use, like how we work with you is a great example. We call them the marketing pillars. They hold up the answers and the satisfaction to the 4 questions and the 5 concerns. So things like how we work with you, your guarantee, your case studies, your magic story, your preferred partners and trusted suppliers, your testimonials, all these sort of things. And what we're doing in this stage is we're making the intangible tangible, and we're adding specificity that leads to credibility. Okay, so for example, the concern that people have around quality, right? I've heard horror stories around builders being shocking at quality. I've seen TikToks and reels of dodgy builders all over the show. How do I know that you're not one of them, and then I can trust you on your quality? Somebody with no marketing would go, love, don't worry about it. We're great at quality. Trust me, right? And that's, you're going to have to work hard in the sales process, and you're going to have to repeat yourself a lot to overcome that objection, versus having your marketing do the heavy lifting at this point and show and demonstrate, not like show, don't tell how your team is good at quality. And this is where you would use a quality control checklist and actually hold it up, show and reference it in your marketing of how your team don't hit just industry standard, but they exceed it to your standard of quality, your XYZ construction standard.
Exactly. And then you'd have video testimonials from your happy clients. You'd have before and after shots. You'd have the training that you put you guys through. You'd have the history of your team on your website. And you'd also have any Master Builders magazine awards that you've won, any magazines or TV shows. Like quite a few of our members have been on Grand Designs and on other TV shows, have that stuff everywhere, plastered everywhere to say, we do quality work. Yep. It's not enough just to say it. You need to show it and show the background behind it.
Totally. So this is where this middle of funnel part really becomes really important in terms of what you were saying, like where does it go? So the specificity of how you address these 5 concerns and how you answer these 4 questions of who are you, who's your team, how can I trust you, and how can you help me specifically, can't just live exclusively on your socials. They can't just live exclusively on your website. They need to also be part of your autoresponder, so that all these people that are in the information search phase are getting an email once a week or something, and it's popping into their inbox and it's educating them on the 4 questions and the 5 concerns. It's also in your info pack. It's also on your website. It's also on your social platforms. It's also in your monthly newsletter. It's also on your site signage or on your vehicle signage, or as a flyer that you can pick up as I walk past the site, right? It goes everywhere. It should be in your PS. Like, the list is long and the list is comprehensive. I think the audit that we have our members go through at this part of their marketing upgrade is, like 45 points long. So it's pretty big and beefy. It should go everywhere though, because this is the part where we really want to outmarket everybody else in the market.
Exactly. And not many people market in this aspect.
No.
Hardly many people market around the biggest concerns, what your process is, case studies, video testimonials, and you have access to these different avenues that you can put on. Website, social media, retargeting, email, magazine.
Yep.
Home shows, everywhere.
100%. And this is where the sales process starts kicking in. So there's like the whole awareness part, then there's the education piece, and then we enter sort of more of that bottom of funnel, that decision making people. That's when the sales process really gets integrated with the marketing, and we're not just picking up, like, answering the phone, g'day, yeah, of course I can be there tomorrow, no worries, it's going to be whatever a square meter, right? We want to actually make sure that the two are married up. We're integrating the both, and we're taking people through a sales process. And we've spoken a lot around sales process. But for example, the best, like the 80-20 of the 80-20, and the best way that you can have your marketing do the heavy lifting of this is by using an information pack that goes out pre-site visit and after initial phone call qualification, right? So there's an awesome example of Simon Manner's info pack that goes out pre-site visit. Do you want to walk the people through that and what that's all about?
Yeah, so the info pack is basically your website in print, and it's referred to as a wow info pack. So if you think about, so where this fits in the sales process is this fits in after the contact's been made, you've qualified them, you've answered any of their questions on a phone, and you've booked a site visit. Now, prior to the site visit, so on your website, everyone else, you should have mapped out, here's exactly what's going to happen on the site visit. We're not just coming around for a chat. We're going to have a look at your scope of works, and we're going to match that up to your budget and see how we can make it work. We're going to walk through project management. We're going to walk through how any variations are signed off. We're going to walk through who's going to be in your house. And we're going to have a look at your budget and make sure that we can show you how we're going to make your dreams into reality. And then what happens when we walk away from here? With us going to talk to our subcontractors and our team, architect if we need to get them to price up the project, and then we'll be coming back round to present it in person and just to pull back the curtain on what we do.
Yeah.
So transparency leads to a lot more trust.
Yeah, massively. So that's where, because it gets delivered before you turn up, or like if we want to go right back, we want to make sure that you're positioned not as the generalist, certainly not as the generalist, not even as the specialist. We want you to be the authority and ideally the celebrity at the very top of this pyramid, right? And we want you to be the celebrity in your local community. Okay, everyone's like, oh, you got to get Craig to build your home. We want you to be positioned as the authority at this stage of the sales process, and we want all your marketing to position you out as the authority and the specialist, certainly not the generalist. So when this info pack arrives before you arrive, it's a nice way of positioning you more as the authority and as that celebrity, because you're no longer turning up to site and going like, g'day, nice to meet you, name's Owen, let me tell you all about myself and my team and my company. You're turning up and they're going, oh, Owen, great to meet you. Dude, I didn't realize that you were part of the local rugby club. Or that
I didn't realize you were so tall.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Right. And what it does is it's called a wow pack, because normally the only thing that we get delivered nowadays are bills in the mail, right? It's like Christmas. This should turn up and they should actually like mutter under their breath, like, wow, these guys are pros. This is really cool. Like
exactly. And that's one of the biggest things that's going to differentiate you from 3 to 5 other builders that are just like, oh yeah, I can pop around on Thursday and should be about 3,500 a square. Like versus, hello, welcome to XYZ Construction, just so I can help you best. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Tell me a bit about your project. Have you got consent? Have you got plans? What's your budget, etc.? And then they get sent an info pack, and then they're booked a site visit. And so they actually have to qualify to earn your time rather than you feeling like you're showing up to do your dancing seal or dancing circus act.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what we're
this
looking
positions you massively. The info pack positions you as the go-to builder, the expert, the most professional. And people want, unless you're going after the Daihatsu drivers at the lower end of the market, go after the premium part of the market or the mid to upper part of the market that value those 5 key things of budget, time, quality, communication, and trust. and show them how you overcome any concerns they have, you're going to make it a reality. And this is what we break down in depth in our marketing with our members.
Yeah, 100%. One of the easiest ways to do this, what we get all of our members to do is once they have done version 1 or draft 1 of their info pack, we get them to sit down with their significant other or with a team member or a new team member and to go through each page of the info pack and explain each image. Like, hey, this was for client XYZ and they needed to be in before Christmas. Because what we want to do is we want, again, that specificity and that real addressing of people's concerns. So the most valuable real estate in any of these info packs is the caption below all the images. So the problem that most people make when they're doing their marketing is they just have beautiful photos and it's like, cool, beautiful photos. That's table stakes. I want a beautiful house. Like, of course you should be able to do this. But what we want is we used Builder-Trend or Build Exact or project management software A, B, C, or D to make sure that this project was completed before Christmas. Or we had a dedicated foreman or project manager to make sure this project was completed before Christmas. Or we had a small team only focusing on one job at a time to make sure that this project was completed before Christmas. Whatever it is, we want to tell and paint the story around each of the images in the info pack. And you will think that these things don't matter. They matter massively. In fact, they're the biggest variable on getting an info pack that looks good versus one that actually converts well. So the best way to do that is to print it out, sit down, go through page by page, and have somebody ask you, what job is this? Why was this unique? What's going on here? And for you to then answer that and write that down as a caption below each of the images. One of the easiest, simplest things that you can do that will have the biggest impact on how well this info pack performs.
I think, yeah, at the Gold Coast Summit last month, Simon presented his info pack, and he's actually lasered. It's a wooden box, and inside it goes his info pack, some supplier selections, some local magazines, and a cover letter, a block of chocolate, and typically a sachet of cocoa or coffee. And everyone was blown away because he 3D lasers on the top of the box what their actual home is going to look like. And you might think this sounds like a lot of effort, but when you're signing, $500 to $1.5 million projects, it makes a massive difference because people are like, holy shit, if he's willing to go this far and go the extra mile before he's even got the job, imagine what he's going to be like to work with. Hey, Marty, got home last night after signing another professional service agreement, getting paid for his expertise. I won't read out that absolutely beautiful hamper from TPB. I was pumped that we converted the sales process, including a well box, and then we just landed another great job, and our profit is at a record high since the first time in 18 years. So I love it when great things happen to great guys.
Yeah, 100%.
And we get these all day, every day, which is the great thing.
It really is. It's pretty rewarding. So, to answer the original question of how do you turn cold prospects into warm and hot clients and raving fans? The answer is there's no silver bullet to this. There is small things along the entire pipeline of the journey that if we were to spend all day going through, you'd have a laundry list of hundreds. But the 80-20 of the 80-20 is that you need to educate the market more than just show you pretty pictures. The best way to educate the market is to clearly and concisely answer the 4 questions and the 5 concerns, which is who are you, who's your team, how can I trust you, and how can you specifically help me? I have concerns around timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication, right? Of varying degrees, whether you do renovations where they live in-house during the build, whether you do knockdown rebuilds or duplexes or whatever. But these are the big concerns. These are the big questions. You want to clearly and concisely answer these, usually with a how we work with you, video testimonials, case studies, guarantee, magic story, meet the team, preferred partners, trusted suppliers. And then you want to publish this everywhere. Put it absolutely omnipresent everywhere. Get it put on your website. Get your website turned into an offline brochure called a wow pack. Use a wow pack during the sales process. And now and then we're only getting into positioning yourself to charge for a quote, keeping them warm while you're off quoting the job. So while you're away for 3 weeks pricing this project out. They're not just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, but you're keeping them warm, introducing them to your team, introducing them to your clients, introducing them to your process and how you work with them, so that when they come back and they are ready to sign the contract, or you're ready to present the project back in front of them, they haven't cooled off. They don't have big questions and queries and big concerns around, like, who's going to do the job and what your partners will look like and things like that. But they're much more comfortable in making the biggest investment of their life.
Exactly. And there's a couple of things that you can do during that keep warm sequence so they don't go cold or dead. Is one, send a 9-word email. Mm-hmm. So once a month, or at a minimum every 90 days, send a 9-word email, and just especially a short email expecting a reply. Are you still looking to progress with your extension or with your renovation or with your whatever type build is? Second thing I'd recommend is calling your leads and your old leads every 30 days and asking that exact same question. How are you going? How are you proceeding with that? Can we help in any way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, well, you shouldn't be doing it. Have your VA, office person, or one of your team do it, but make it a system. I guarantee you will hook in some old leads or some warm leads that just needed that little bit of tipping over the fence.
Yeah, 100%. Nice. So key takeaways from here are making sure that you have your sales process dialed in, making sure that your marketing isn't just pretty brochures, but actually addresses the key questions and the primary concerns. And then make sure that you do an A to Z of operations. So a flow chart of how leads enter your world, and then move through your sales process, through your pricing process, keep warm sequence, contract signing checklist, and put a who and a how next to each one of those stages. So who, is it you or the office manager or the project manager or the estimator? And how do they do it? Is there a sales script, an information pack, a presentation, a quote as an action plan, a template for the socials, for the Google AdWords, or for the on-site and offline marketing? So there needs to be a process, and there needs to be a person in charge of each of these stages. Yep. A couple of free resources that we got below. Sales process guide, which is the 10 steps available for download, and the referral program as well for all your offline marketing requirements. But final thoughts, Marty, what would you add to this?
Get an info pack done. It'll be an absolute game changer. It'll differentiate you from your competition. It'll force you to think strategically from the buyer's perspective. Mm-hmm. What problems are they encountering and how can we solve those? Number one game changer. We've got templates, probably close to 100 different ones now from our members. Everyone says that it absolutely changes the game. So can't recommend doing that enough.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, brother. I will see you on the next one. And here's to you guys.
Have a great day. Bye. That's it for today's episode. Tune in every week if you want insights into what's working right now for the top 5% of residential building company owners and general contractors. There's 4 ways we can help you. 1, join our free Facebook group for tips, processes, best practice. 2, go to www.theprofessionalbuilder.com to download some resources, look at case studies, see what's possible for your business. 3, schedule a one-on-one chat. We'll have a 15-minute chat, see what we can do to help take your business to the next level. No obligation, give you plenty of tips. And lastly, get a copy. It's a new book that's come out to help make your business more profitable. Cheers.